Here's a little something on the decadent side that still celebrates fresh berries in season. My fancy brownie. Let me show you how I do it. I've already put a few things together for us. In this bowl I have 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. I also have 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate morsels, about 1.5 pints of fresh raspberries, 1 egg, some freshly brewed coffee, and a couple of other items to get our dry ingredients together like oil and vanilla. Alright, let's put all of this together. I've started off by preheating our oven to 325 degrees, and I've also already buttered and dusted with cocoa an 8-inch cake pan. 8 or 9-inch works just fine here. Okay, since our dry ingredients are together, let's move on to our wet, and we'll get to our berries in a little while. First off, we're going to start with about 2/3 of a cup of regular vegetable oil. And into that, we're going to crack our egg. This also is a time that I like a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're also going to add to this mixture a 1/4 cup of coffee, which is 4 tablespoons, and this is freshly brewed coffee. And to all of that, just a pinch of salt. 1/8 of a teaspoon. And we'll give all that a whisk up and fold it right into our dry ingredients. And give all that a fold together till it's nice and smoothly combined. Now we'll do some mix-ins. Okay, right here I have a cup of chocolate chips, and in another bowl I just have about a tablespoon of flour. I'm going to add about half of our chips, so about 1/2 cup, to the other bowl, and we're going to blend those in. We're going to coat them with flour so that they don't just fall to the bottom, and go ahead and stir those into the mix. And now let's get this all in the pan. These are fudgy brownies, not cakey, but definitely fudgy and chocolatey here. You could have folded in some nuts as well. I'm just sticking with chocolate today. And get most all of it in there. Alright, little shake up, clean off any of the sides. It looks good. Let's put it in the oven. Bake at 325 for 35 to 40 minutes. Oh, looks delicious. We're going to let this brownie cool completely. I'll let it cool for a little bit in the pan, and then I'm going to turn it out onto a rack to make sure it's completely cool before we move on to some additional items like the chocolate chips and the raspberries. Okay, it's been about an hour since our brownie came out of the oven, and I've turned it out onto a baking rack. At this point, you could dust it with powdered sugar and call it a day. It's great this way, but we're going to take it to the next level with some chocolate chip ganache and our raspberries. So let me show you how I put that together. So for just a little bit of ganache, or frosting if you will, I'm going to take our second 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, and to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Half&Half, and another tablespoon of our coffee. And just mix those things together. And then to make this pretty easy, we're just going to throw it in the microwave for 15-second pulses. Give it a stir, pulse again for 15 seconds until it's a nice, smooth consistency, and then we'll spread it all over our brownie. And really after just about 3 or 4 pulses, we've got a nice, shiny consistency. I'm going to let this cool just a second before we spread it over the brownie. And now I'm going to transfer our brownie to a serving plate. And we'll get to our berries in just a moment. And so this is the top, the crust of the brownie. It's nice and crunchy. And again, if you were just serving it with powdered sugar, it looks very good this way. But we're going to do it upside down so that the crust sort of becomes the bottom. And the underside is the top. So our chocolate's getting a little bit thicker again, and not a lot to ice here. I do have an offset spatula to do a little icing. A regular knife could work just as well, or if you don't have an offset spatula, you might have one of these little butter knives in your drawer, and so that also works very well on something this big. I'm going to start off by giving a nice dollop over the top, kind of let it run to the sides. So we just circle it out across the top, and then I'm going to switch to our spatula and just sort of help to ease some of it over and down the sides, and just let it do its own thing to fall down. Alright, and now once you have your nice sort of robe of chocolate just hugging down the sides, we're going to start on our berries, and I like to start right in the middle and sort of use similar sized berries to work from the middle row to the edges, maybe going a little bit smaller, and the great thing is the ganache just really helps to make them sort of stick. Last few couple of berries, and I think that looks good. One final dusting of confectioner sugar right over our berries. My fancy brownie. I hope you try this recipe at home, and I hope you enjoy.